Well, it has been almost 3 years since COVID arrived and the labor market remains unsettled. A lot of businesses and industries are still short-staffed, including law enforcement. Tonight in 12 Investigates, we look at why it's so hard for departments to find and keep police officers and the impact of all of this on violent crime. Technically, Robert Williams retired from the Winston-Salem Police Department June 1st, but as a former SVU detective, he does still have to go to court to testify from time to time, especially in felony cases involving child victims.
Because of the pandemic, the court system's backed up quite a bit, so I have quite a few things pending, so I think it'll probably be another 2 years before I can say I'm officially retired.
He's only 49, served the city for 28 years, and got credit for 2 years sick pay. He's proud of his career. The victim in one of the cases he worked painted this for him. It's now prominently displayed in his condo. But he's also concerned about the state of his former profession.
Everything that's happened in the last 2 years, obviously with what Derek Chauvin did, you know, that changed the perception of law enforcement for the entire country. And unfortunately, you know, instead of most of the country and the politicians seeing that act, that murder that he committed as an individual, law enforcement kind of got blanketed into it. If you're a young person, you know, why would you want to be a cop? I mean, why would you want to be under that kind of scrutiny, that judgment?
So how hard is it to find people who want to do this job right now?
So, unfortunately, it's extremely difficult right now.
Winston-Salem Police Chief Katrina Thompson does not have as many officers as she needs, not even close. In her department, they're down 23%, 122 vacant positions with 404 sworn officers currently on staff. They're down double digits in Greensboro, too. The Triad's largest city has 613 sworn with 82 vacancies, almost 12%. And in High Point, they're 42 sworn officers short, which means they're more than 16% understaffed.
I'm concerned now because I don't want the numbers to be any worse than they already are.
Chief Thompson's successor will almost certainly inherit this problem. She's retiring next month after 29 years on the force. When she does, she will be the third major city Triad police chief to leave their post in a little more than 2 years. Brian James stepped down from the Greensboro PD in May to take the same job at UNC Chapel Hill, and Ken Schultz retired from the High Point PD in August of 2020 after 31 years on the force. Travis Stroud officially took over for him in May of last year.
The time is now. I mean, we're in that mode now where our staffing losses have impacted us so much that it has definitely begun to affect the work product that we are giving our citizens of High Point. And I hate to say that, it pains me to say that. Your sales pitch right now is pretty hard. I mean, what are you really going to tell people?
You might think fewer cops means more violent crime, but that's not the case across the board. All three cities are on pace to see at least a 14% drop in homicides this year compared to last. The number of rapes is also down double digits in all three cities compared to last year and the last few years. But aggravated assault is a different story. In Greensboro, they're up 18% compared to the last half decade. In Winston-Salem, up 12% compared to the previous 4 years. High Point is the only major Triad city where this type of crime is down.
The people that are here and that are on the street are working. That is as simple as it gets.
It takes special people to do this job. And, you know, if you are a law enforcement person at heart, you're a law enforcement person at heart.
So what is the solution? And what happens if this mass exodus, as Chief Stroud calls it, continues?
My number one priority, and I think our number one priority as an agency, is keeping the people who are here.
There'll have to be some hard decisions made and looking at how to capitalize on the law enforcement resources that we have.
I read an article this morning on another news outlet where West Coast City is a 20+ minute response time to a priority call. We cannot do that here.
Our citizens still expect and deserve to have us there to, again, bring that calm when they're experiencing chaos.
Somebody has to do it. I mean, there has to be somebody to fight fires, somebody to come to car accidents and save people's lives. I mean, there has to be teachers. That, you know, it's a profession that has to be done. It has to be military. I mean, so I mean, you just have to dig deep in yourself and see if that's something you think you could do. I mean, but it's definitely not for everybody.
In Winston-Salem, Chief Thompson has been nominated to serve as a U.S. Marshal for the Middle District of North Carolina. No word on her successor on an interim or permanent basis. In Greensboro, Teresa Biffle took over as interim chief in June of this year.